and welcome to my book nook.
We are monsters. We give and we take.
If you're new to the channel, my name's Rainy. I read a lot of books, primarily fantasy romance, so you should like, subscribe, all of those sorts of things. Today's video is very exciting because this is part of one of the vlogs for Battle of the Booktubers, which is hosted and created by the lovely Danni from Danni Dabbles. If you don't already follow and subscribe to her, you totally should. I was so very excited when she asked me to be a part of this because obviously I would love to compete. I'm a very competitive girl and I'm here to win it, okay? It's gonna go in the bag for Rainy. Anyway, what we are doing in this video is I am going to be reading two books that were recommended for me from Booktuber B. That is all I know them as, this elusive Booktuber B. I know it's one of three people. It could be Josie, it could be Kristen, or it could be Michaela. I've been saying Kristen, but it is really Kirsten. I'm so very sorry, forgive me. Here we go. And so basically I'm going to read these two books and we're going to see whether or not Booktuber B really knows how to recommend books that I will end up enjoying. And so you're probably wondering, what two books am I reading for this vloggy vlog? And I will gladly tell you. The first book that they chose for me is Serpent Dove by Shelby Morin, and the second one is Poison Study by Maria B. Schneider. Now, I will say, my initial thoughts when I saw this list is Serpent Dove, I was a little scared because I feel like I've only really heard people say like it was an alright YA or that it just didn't really work for them. And I didn't even really know what it was about. I knew nothing about it. I've just seen the cover before and I've just never gone beyond that. And then A Poison Study, I'd never heard of before in my life. And yes, I know it is very beloved. It has over 100,000 ratings. It's a fantasy romance, like one of the original ones. Like, why would I not know it? I don't know, but I didn't know about it. I just didn't. Okay. But to be fair, I started my fantasy romance journey like recently, like within the last year, like really getting into it. So it's okay that I didn't know what it is. Was I excited for it? Not necessarily, because it was older. I'm not necessarily as excited for it. But if it's so beloved and so many people like it, then I think I'm willing to try it, okay? So I've at least heard of Serpent Dove, and I've never heard of Poison Study. So honestly, I'm a little excited that I'm getting some new books that I hadn't really heard of before, because I feel like that's going to be a really fun and exciting time. Both fantasy romance, which, I mean, obviously, whoever Booktuber B is doing their work, because they know that that is what I'm going to like and appreciate, so they have a little bit of an edge up already. So I'm just excited to see whether they brought it or not, and what we're going to read. And honestly, I need to dive in, because it is already June, and this is coming out in July, and I am so behind. I've only read one book out of the 6 books that I'm supposed to read, so I better get crack-a-lackin' and stop talking to you and go read some books. Conversations with Rainy in the car. Anyway, hi friends. Okay, so I am reading A Poison Study right now by Maria V. Schneider. I think that's the name of the book. And like I said in the beginning vlog clip, I had never heard of this book before. It was not even on my radar. I had literally never heard of it. And so when I looked it up, I can't believe it was written in 2007. That is that old. It's like almost 20 years old, which is crazy. But you know what's even funnier is I was watching a vlog today, and I can't remember whose vlog it was. I think it was Becca and the Books, and she was reading a certain book, I think Heartless Hunter, and she said that it gave her Serpent and Dove and A Poison Study vibes. And I went, wow, I have to read both of those books for this secret project, and not, I think, by the same person. Maybe it is by the same person. I don't honestly remember which two books I'm reading for which person right now. But anyway, I just thought that was funny because I was like, oh, I haven't read either of those, and I have read Heartless Hunter. But anyway, we're back to A Poison Study. I am only 8% in because I'm listening to it on my ride here to Circus. I'm actually really liking it. And I didn't realize it was a 7-book series. So if I like it, I'm going to have to continue on, okay? So this is about our main girl, and her name's Yelena. And she has been in prison for almost a year for killing this royal commander's only son. Don't know why she did it, but I'm sure I'll find that out later. She's finally summoned to some other commanders, like second in command, to like basically be executed. And when he discovers that a woman is going to be executed, he decides to spare her life by saying that the king needs a new food taster, you know, the person that tastes all of their food to like detect poison. And I guess the last one died doing their job or whatever. And so they're like, basically your options are you can get executed today, or you can become their food taster, and for the rest of your life that's all you get to do. You don't get to have a family or kids. You have to devote your life to the cause of the king. And of course she decides, because it's called a poison study, to become the king's royal food taster. And so she is currently in the middle of trainings, like detecting all these different poisons, having to taste different ones and like smell different ones and figure out what the different poisons are, as she works close in hand with the second in command, which I assume is going to be the love interest in this, but who knows? So it's Valak and Yelena. Anyway, I'm actually really liking it. It reads really easily. I'm having a good time with it. I'm very shocked because, like I said, I'd never heard of this book before. But a fantasy romance doesn't have to like be the best written thing ever to like wow me. Not saying that this is written poorly, because I don't think it is. I think it's probably going to feel dated maybe the more I go, just because it is from 2007, but who knows? It was probably one of the first of its time, because, you know. But anyway, I'm really liking it. So that is a good update. I will probably update again in a little bit. I'm going to head out to Circus. I might put a clip in here or something. This is during the Amazing Readathon, because unfortunately I waited to read 5 out of 6 books. I made the shortest one be read way earlier, of course. So I'm trying to sprinkle these books in between like the current book that I'm supposed to read for the Amazing Readathon and sightseeing books, which I am using these for sightseeing as well. But I'm not gonna say my ratings and stuff like out loud in the ether. It's only in this vlog. Okay. Anyway, I will be back. Hello, friends. Towel on the head. Just took a shower. What else do you really expect here? Okay. Anyway, I'm here to give an update on the poison study. It is currently June 6th. I'm still reading away. I have gotten to 36%. And honestly, I'm still really enjoying this book. Like, I'm honestly surprised in how much I'm enjoying it. Like, it's not anything groundbreaking, but I'm just having a good time. It's very well written. I feel like it's slow enough that we're really getting to learn. Well, that was weird. My ring light is like spazzing out on me. It better not be dying, because I don't want to have to pay for a new ring light. Anyway, it's slow enough that we're getting to know all the key characters at play and like really getting to like know who they are as people, but then it's fast enough that there's enough plot going on that I'm intrigued, and there is a magic system in play that is coming into place. We have found out that our main character has some sort of magic. Doesn't really know what it is, and so I'm sure it's going to go off from there. I am very intrigued in how this is going to be a 7-book series. I think it's, my friend said it was like 3 trilogies, a trilogy, and a standalone. I'm not really sure, but I'm interested in it so far. Is it going to be a 5-star? Probably not, unless it really, really wows me at the end, but it's definitely in 4-star territory. Like, I really am enjoying myself. So my plan tonight is to get way further into it and hopefully either finish it or get to finish it tomorrow morning so that I can move on to the 2nd book in this vlog, which, do I remember what it is? No, because I filmed the intro way before I actually did this. So let me see what the 2nd book is going to be so that I actually know. But it is Serpent and Dove. Okay, well then that's actually really funny that the person that I watched a video said that it was like Serpent and Dove and Poison Study having a baby for Heartless Hunter. So I'm intrigued to find Serpent and Dove next and then read Heartless Hunter and see what I think of all of those and if they're good recommendations for each other. Okay, anyway, we're gonna get to work. I'm gonna listen more and then I will come back at you with an update. Hello friends, new day, same place. Anyway, I finished the Poison Study last night and I didn't update right when I finished because honestly, I kind of was falling asleep towards the end of finishing it. I had like 30 pages left and I was just so tired because it was like 11:30 at night, but I was like, no, you're going to finish this book. You're going to finish this book. And so I did. And so it was not because I wasn't enjoying the book. I was honestly very surprised by this book, if we're being quite serious. I had literally never heard of this book before this, and I don't know how, because it came out in 2005. It's old. It's like a popular one. It has like over 200,000 ratings. Like, I don't know where I was. I was sleeping on this, obviously, but I had such a good time with this, I gave it 4 stars. So it didn't break to 5. And I'm very intrigued in where the series is going. And honestly, the whole reason I got a 4 is because Valak has my heart. I love Valak very, very much. I also love our other side characters, which I'm forgetting their names right now. There's one with a J and one with an A. Her 2 like fighting companions. And the ones that teach her how to like pick locks and like make knives and like all that stuff. Her little like found family friends. And then I feel really bad for Rand. However, he kind of did this to himself. If you know, you know. Honestly, it was just such a fun time. I really liked everything, but like I said, Valak is my main man. He is such a cute, sweet little FMC. Or not FMC, MMC. He's not a girl. And I just really, really loved it. So I am glad. Booktuber B, you really know my taste. You're getting it down because that was a pretty good recommendation. I feel like it was kind of a risk because it is an older fantasy, and would it hold up still? I believe that it does. Like I said, it was just so good, and you have made me want to continue on to book 2, although I have heard from multiple people. It's crazy. I like never heard of this book, and then I heard of this book so much in the last week. between people telling me that it's like one of their favorite books of all time, between me watching Becca and the Books and her talking about A Poison Study because she was reading book number 3 in her vlog. Like, who even is this when a book just pops up randomly like that? It's just weird. But I am intrigued. I am going to try to read book number 2 in the future very soon because I do want to know where this goes on. So I'm glad that you introduced me to this wonderful world of Poison Study. And so that'll be fun. Now, I know that I'm doing this vlog backwards because technically Serpent and Dove is my first book, and so it matters what I give on the score of that more than it does Poison Study, but since I read them out of order, that's just how it's going to go. So technically this is the second book that Booktuber B gave me, and Serpent and Dove was first, and so they figured I would like Serpent and Dove more than I would like the Poison Study. So we'll have to see if it gets a 4 or above. So I will say a quick little update for Serpent and Dove. I have not really read more than like 20 pages, so I'm like 4% into this book. And all I really know is that it is about a witch and a witch hunter having to either fake date or get married for reasons that I don't know yet, which is pretty much exactly like Heartless Hunter almost. So I'm just very excited. I didn't finish Heartless Hunter. I got like 60 pages in, but I was liking it. Anyway, I am excited to read this. I know I'm like one of the last people on the train. I've kind of been avoiding this book, and I'm not even necessarily sure why I've been avoiding this book, because I think it's because people said it wasn't good. Honestly, that's probably why. But then when I looked at it on Goodreads, lots of people were 4 and 5 starring it. So like, people that I trust and like recommend, so I don't know. I feel like it goes off the rails after book 1, but that's okay because I only have to commit to book 1 for this video. So anyway, hopefully I will get significantly further in Serpent and Dove within the next day or 2 so that I can update you, because I need to finish out this vloggy vlog so I can start and finish all my other vlogs, because I am behind, guys. I am behind, but who's not expecting that? Honestly, love that for me. Okay, goodbye. Good morning, friends. It is currently the 10th, and I have not come to you with an update yet for Serpent and Dove since I started it. I am currently 33% of the way through the audio. I've read about 4.5 hours, and it says I have 9 hours left, but if I listen at the speed I'm listening at, I'll be done in 2.5 hours. I'm not liking it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know. I don't think I ever really knew fully from the start what was going on. And unless I missed why the witch and the witch hunter had to get married, why they're married, I don't understand why. I think like it just kind of glossed over. It was like, it would be beneficial to you for later. And I'm like, that's not an explanation. That's not an explanation. So I unfortunately don't really care about anything that's going on. Am I going to finish this book or try to continue on to see if it can get better for me? Yes. Do I know why it's not working for me? No, because it literally has like tropes that I love. Witch hunter, like forbidden love. I don't understand, like a touch her and you die moment. Like if he said if any other man touches her like that, he'll kill them. Like I don't understand why this is not working for me, but it's not. And maybe I let my own personal bias go into this because I've only heard bad stuff about this series, and so I kind of avoided it and was never going to read it until I saw it on this list. But I don't know, it's just not working for me, unfortunately. But my goal is to finish it today, so I'm just going to continue on at least to the 50% mark, and then probably give you another update and go from there. I don't want to have to DNF a book because I've suffered through other books. I can get through this. And it's not like I absolutely hate it. I'm just lost. And I don't care to be unlost, if you get what I'm saying. It just is, unfortunately. All right, well, I'm going to get back to reading. And I will update this vlog again at some point. Well, that took a turn, my friends. 48% into Serpent and Dove. Had no freaking idea that her husband didn't know she was a witch. I thought he knew. Like, in the beginning, it made it seem like he knew she was a witch because she did some witchy stuff to escape them. And I thought he knew. Apparently, he didn't know. And so she was just like, this is a spoiler. So if you don't want to hear this, skip this. I'll put a timestamp. She had just had to watch one of her sisters or witch sisters get burned at the stake because she couldn't let them know that, like, you know, she was a witch as well. And then she said, well, if I was a witch, would you want me burned at the stake? And he said, yeah, if you were a witch. And I go, what? Wait a second. I'm going to need to go back and see what it said back when they were like saying their vows and whatnot, because this is an entirely different book. You're in my closet. This is where I'm doing my update because I literally just finished listening to Serpent and Dove. Let's talk, friends, because it's been a minute since I've updated, right? It's been a minute, right? I have not been updating because I have not been wanting to read this book. It has been a week. It does not take me a week to read a 500-page book. I mean, it does if I'm in school, but it doesn't in summer. And it's been making me not want to pick up other books. I still can't tell you why I didn't care for this book. And I kept talking to one of my friends being like, there's a book that I'm reading that I should DNF, but I can't because I feel like I owe it to the collaboration to do it. And they just kept saying DNF, DNF, DNF. And I didn't. I powered through. I really should have. It didn't get better for me. There were parts of it that were interesting, but I just didn't care enough about the relationship between the characters. I mean, there were just parts of it that were cool. Okay, so I'm going to land, I think I'm going to land on a 3. Which I thought it was going to be a 2.5. But you know what? It's a book, and I read it. I should have DNF'd it, yes. But I ended up giving it a 3. Will I widely recommend it to other people? No. No, I definitely won't. Which means I probably should bump it down to a 2.5. But you know what? We're going to stay at a 3. Because I see what it was doing. I think it has a good, like, flow. I can tell where it's segueing into the next story, and like I am not going to be continuing on in this series, but I do see where it's going, and it does look interesting to people that loved it. I'm sorry if this is like a beloved book that you absolutely love and you're watching this vlog back and you're going, what the hell's wrong with Rainy? Because it literally has witches and witch hunters and magic and all these things, like a forbidden love that I should love. I know I should, guys. I know I should, but sometimes a book just doesn't hit. It just doesn't hit. And so unfortunately, this is a 3-star. But to the person that recommended me, which I think at this point, the person that recommended me to these, it's tricky. It's either Kirsten or Josie. And I'm gonna go with Josie. I'm not 100% sure why. Honestly, I'm just spitting shots like into the wind to see what'll stick. I think that you did a good job. You know what I will like, because both of these books were definitely things I would like. And Poison Study was fabulous. Really enjoyed it. And this one I should have enjoyed, and I just didn't. But I think that you are fabulous at recommending books, and you definitely know how to recommend them to me, because these both were ones that were in my wheelhouse. So props off to you. I'm going to wrap up this vlog after I'm done, doing laundry, and then we will discuss my final thoughts. Okay, friends, coming back to you at the end of this vlog to just give you a little quick recap on what we saw. We already saw that I read Poison Study and Serpent Dove, that I gave Poison Study a 4 stars. I had a really great time with it. It really surprised me because, like I said, I didn't know about it before. And then I unfortunately gave Serpent Dove, I know I gave it a 3, but honestly, it's probably a 2.5 for me. It's a 2.5. That's where we're landing, a 2.5. Neither of them are now all-time faves or potential favorites, but A Poison Study I will gladly recommend to others because that was really surprising to me, and I will actually continue on in that series, so I would say that that is a win for me. Do I need to start another series? No. But you know what? It's fine. Everything's fine. And I'm finally going to lock in, which I know I've already said this before, but I am locking it in for sure. I think it was Josie that recommended these to me. I don't know. I feel like she's a fantasy girly. I mean, just off of my, looking at her bookshelf tour of the type of books that she likes to read, I feel like she would be the one that would also read that fantasy romance. But I could be 100% off, y'all. Like I said, I don't really know. And I think what's really fun about this is that I don't really know any of the booktubers in my round. I have heard of them all before, but I don't actually know them. I've never really talked to them. So I think that this makes this one even harder than what I've been watching of my friends doing it already. Because if I had been in the round with all my girly pop friends, like Katie and Leandra and Nell, I would have been like, oh, I know who this is. I know them. This is fun. I don't know anybody. So it's even more magical. Well, we've gotten to the end of this vlog for Booktuber B. So if you got to the end of this, then let's put a serpent emoji for Serpent and Dove. Let me know if you've read any of these books down below. And once again, this is your plug to please go follow and support Danny Dabbles and go watch all of the other creators' videos. Go watch Michaela, go watch Kristen's, go watch Josie's. One day I'll get it right. I'll say Kirsten's name right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because this is going to be fun and you need to see who's going to win the round. I mean, you're probably looking at her, but who knows? Anyway, I will let you guys go and I'll see you guys in another video soon.